Hello everyone and welcome to the video on EDUU 628 Demo Build, your first steps. It's me again, Dr. Kimberly Green, and with me is my esteemed colleague, Michael Hill. Say hello, Michael.
Hello, Michael.
Yes, indeed, the gentleman wearing the tie in the initial intro video. And with us as our very, very special guest star for this and several other videos to come is Dr. Lynn Larson. Dr. Larson, please say hello.
Hi, everyone.
Now, Dr. Larson has not used Canvas before, so she has agreed to allow us to walk her through the very steps that you all are going to be doing in creating your class. Michael and I introduced this to you in that introduction video when we talked about being as transparent as we can. So if any of you are feeling nervous or uncomfortable, I can't do this, you guys are asking too much, please recognize that truly Dr. Larson is doing exactly what we're asking you all to do. She's agreed very graciously to allow us to video this so that you guys actually can see we are not in any way, shape, or form asking you to do something that you cannot successfully do. So, as you have on the Google Doc or PDF, whatever makes you happy, for the demo build, your first steps, you see that we need to log into the canvaslms.com Try Canvas page. This is Dr. Larson's screen. And Dr. Larson, could you scroll down a little bit? Thank you. So you see why use Canvas free for teacher, right? Then underneath you see the big red box. Now, we know this is confusing. We know your initial thoughts are going to be, oh, wait, there's student sign up. But you need to sign up as a teacher because each individual will be creating a course. Dr. Larson is going to sign up right now, and then once she's logged in, we're going to show you what we see. For institutional email, please use your Brandman email. And we're going to hold off for a minute while Dr. Larson finishes filling this out. Click submit. And then, yes, you'll get one of those security things to make sure you're a real live human being. And then you'll be asked to create a password. When you enter, once you've set up your account, you're going to come to this template page. The first thing we want you to do is to click on your dashboard button over on the left. This gives you a sense, right now guys, you literally have one template. You're going to give it its own name, Fred, George, Michael Jr., but this is your template. You are actually going to be building in your own area, your own space. Lynn, after clicking dashboard, just to see what you've got, please click on the title, which is at this moment your guided course template.
When you first start in Canvas, it's going to populate your empty demo unit with what they call the guided course template. This is designed to give you a solid starting place that you can then develop and customize based on the needs of your course. What we're going to be doing is helping you change some of the more common settings on this course so that you have a workable demo unit that you'll be able to build out for the rest of this class. So the first thing that we would actually like you to do, Dr. Larson, is go down to Settings and click Settings for me. Sometimes Canvas is a bit slow, so you may have to wait for it. Settings is where you configure the basic elements of the course. And what we're going to have you do first is create an image for the course. This image will show up on the dashboard so that you and your instructor, everyone else who's involved in this course, can easily identify and access your course based on the lovely image that you choose for the course. So go ahead and click on Choose Image and pick a image from your computer. You can either drag and drop, you can click Browse Your Computer, or if you have a Flickr account, you can use that as well. Ah, fabulous. So you definitely do, like Dr. Larson did. You want to pick something that really represents you and the subject area that you're working in. So then for course name, this is where you're going to put in the name of the unit that you're developing. So if you're teaching a world history class, or if you're teaching a kindergarten class, you put in the name. In this particular place, you can put in any name that you want. So you can put, Dr. Larson's history unit, or Dr. Larson's special ed class. In the course code, though, is where we're going to have you put in your last name _ demo and then _ term.
Yeah, so name is whatever you want to call it. And then, yes, as Michael just said, in course code, if you look on the PDF or the Google Doc we have provided, it's very clear. We want last name _ 628 demo _ and then the term. Fall 1, Fall 2, and then the year, whatever it is. Please also do click the time zone. We are working in Pacific time. And then if you scroll down, you'll see there's an awful lot of things here, but we want to click on more options. You have to click on more options for this part. And then we want show recent announcements on the course homepage. That's a really important one. Select this to 3 or 4 or 5, but at least a minimum of 3. You guys as students clearly recognize how important it is when the instructor has posted an announcement and there was something there to easily be able to go back and get it. So that's why that's there. And then we'd like you to let students attach files to discussions and then let students edit or delete their own discussion posts. There we go. And then if you scroll down, I believe at this time, those are the only things we really want to make sure you've clicked at this time. Click update course details. Exactly. You guys can go in once you have a better sense of how this is all working together. You can make modifications to these settings. But right now we're getting you at a strong base, clean starting place. So then we move forward and we want to go into navigation. Perfect.
Navigation is what allows you to set the items that are going to be on the left-hand navigation bar. So as you can see, this mimics what we've got over there on the left-hand side. Items that are up on the top are available to students, and those, when they're available to students, you can see in black. Items that are down on the lower portion of this list are hidden from students, and those you see are in gray. So in the student view, you wouldn't be able to view those items, but in instructor view, you can still see them and they're still workable links. This is just to help set your course up to make it as user-friendly as possible for the students. So in this portion, what we recommend is that we remove the syllabus. Now, Canvas has a syllabus function that's built in that allows you to list all of the assignments, all of the schedules, all of the deadlines, but we find that this is a fairly limiting option. Instead, what we will walk you through doing is setting up your own syllabus under modules that gives you a little bit of additional flexibility. However, your institution, if you are using Canvas already in your school may actually want you to use that syllabus option. So let's get rid of syllabus by clicking the 3 dots on the right-hand side. That in Canvas gives you menu options for a given item, and we're just going to click disable. And that will move syllabus down to the bottom portion of the list. What we're also going to have you do is move a link for discussions up and make it available for students. We can either click that 3 dots there and click enable, or you can also click and drag discussions up to the top as an alternate way to get it up there into the active list. I'm going to suggest that we move discussions up above grades. When I set up a course, I like to have all of the activities up above and then the grades, because that's really the outcomes of the course, as the bottom thing in the list. Now, Dr. Larson, if you scroll down a little bit more, we'll get to the button on the bottom that says Save. Canvas does not automatically save these changes. You have to click Save to activate them and make them available for students.
And I do want to throw in here, again, everybody, you have flexibility. If once you have a better sense of how this works or that works, you can come in and change what is on the left-hand side or move things around. But in the spirit of transparency, before we started this video, and Dr. Larson, we brought her in, and she, again, graciously agreeing to be our guinea pig, Michael and I had this discussion because do we want there to be shortcuts? Do we want students to be able to just jump in at any time and go in discussions? Or do we want people to always need to go in through the modules so they're seeing all of the weekly content before they get to discussions? And we came to an agreement for discussions that yes, because these are things we want people to visit on a regular basis, that's a shortcut that's worth having. But we purposefully agreed to not add in assignments or quizzes or even files or at this time collaborations. So again, there's always flexibility, but you need to be mindful of every decision you're making, and we're just getting you set up for the baseline. And now, my friends, we're going to go out of settings. Dr. Larson, on the left-hand side, would you please click into modules?
Canvas uses the generic term modules to represent chunked learning units. So when you're designing a course, you want to think about how to break that course down into smaller bite-sized pieces. It's like the old saying about, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? You need to think about your course as the whole elephant, and modules is what allows you to break down your course or your unit into small, easy-to-bite, digestible pieces. So what we like to think about modules as is very similar to the way that Brandman has their courses set up with those individual weeks. So we're going to use the modules as weeks. We find that to be a very convenient time-based way to chunk down learning units, and then we can further subdivide those weeks if we'd like to. A couple of things to notice in the modules page. First of all, in the very top section, you'll see about this modules page, and if you scan over to the right-hand side, you see a little circle with a line through it. That means that that module and that module page down below are not published. They're not available to students. Only the instructor can see those links and that module section. Down below, on the other hand, under Let's Get Started, you see a bunch of green check marks. Those green check marks mean that the module is published and that it is visible to students. What we would like you to do is notice that that very first modules page is unpublished, and it has information for you, the instructor. It gives you a link that says what is the modules page and how do I use it. Go ahead and click on that, Dr. Larson. Canvas has dropped some of these hidden sections, these hidden pages in, for you to learn how to use Canvas a little bit better. So here we have an explanation about modules, how the sample content has been set up, and how you can build your own module. Anytime Canvas gives you some of this useful tutorial information, we'd really like you to take a few minutes and read through that. Now, Canvas provides you with some convenient buttons, like Dr. Larson just found on the bottom, that are next and back buttons. And if you scroll down to the bottom of this page, you'll see that we now have a previous button there as well. It can be helpful to think about your modules as in the way that students can navigate through these modules using those next and previous buttons. In this case, though, what we're actually going to have you do is go back to the main modules page by clicking the modules link on the left-hand side. And we're going to take advantage of this hidden module that's been set up and use that as a place to store information for you, the instructor, and potentially future instructors of your course as well. So this module that's already called About This Modules page, we're going to rename that module, and we're going to call it Hidden Instructor Resources. To rename the module, you're heading in the right direction, but actually, that's really good, Dr. Larson. You'll see that now you've got edit. That will actually edit the modules page that you're on. To edit the title of the module, you want those 3 dots that are up above it, that are within the larger gray box for the module. That's the one. Go ahead and click on that one and click Edit. And we can rename this Shared Instructor Resources. This allows you to lock the module until a specific date or time if you are limiting students' abilities to move forward. But it also gives you the option to add different requirements to the module too, and we'll talk about that a little bit later when we get into the course. For now, let's just click Update Module. And that has changed the title of the module now to Shared Instructor Resources.
Recognize how important it is that you have now created an area that is only going to be visible by you, by anyone else who is serving as a teacher or a teaching assistant. And when your section of this course is over and you want someone else to copy the shell and be able to teach it again, only people with instructor abilities are able to see this. It's very powerful for an online designer to have these areas that are only for instructors. You can share nuances, you can share different resources. Remember, there's always room for people to have choice and voice, so you want to gather resources to be able to share with other instructors or to give you more flexibility when you teach the course in the future.
By creating this space where we can have our notes and have provide materials to others who may be looking at the course later, we're opening ourselves in our design process up so that we can share with other people. Perfect. So this is a good start to making the modules and making the course your own, and this is very close to where we're going to end. We do encourage you to read through the rest of the information that's here, take a look at what's available, how Canvas presents a template to have you set up, read through the notes that they give you on each of these areas. But for now, we're going to finish up our steps by having you share the course with your instructor. So what we would like you to do, Dr. Larson, is go over to the People link. And we're going to use this link to add your instructor to the course. So go ahead and click plus People, the blue button in the upper right-hand corner to add people. And you're going to do this by putting in your instructor's email address. So Dr. Larson, let's go ahead and have you add both Dr. Green and myself. And then on the next line, you put in Dr. Green's email. And we want to make sure that the role has been assigned for teachers. And students, when you do this, you're only going to be putting in the email address for your instructor. And then once those have been put in there, go ahead and click Next. Now, this is a good example, actually, with Dr. Green's email. Her email is set up in Canvas using a different email address. If you have made any errors in typing the email, you'll get this notice from Canvas. Your instructor should be set up there in Canvas, so it should immediately.
Yes, or you can simply just click and add the person's name in there. So, Lynn, if you go ahead, yeah. Oh, I thought you'd put something like Dr. Awesome.
All right, so this confirms that both of the individuals have been added here. And so you want to make sure that you do get that green check mark, and then the last step is click Add Users.
Please don't forget that. You'll see that green check and you're going to think it's done. It's not done. You must click that final Add Users in the lower right-hand corner. Made that mistake one too many times.
You know that it's done when you're back to the people list and you see pending, which means that we have not accepted the invitation yet. It should show pending, and the roll column should say teacher for each of those pending invitations. Once we've accepted your invitation and looked at your course, that pending will go away. Interestingly, too, you'll still be able to see how much time we've spent looking at your course and when we were in reviewing your course under the last activity and total activity column.
This brings us to the end of your first steps in setting up your shell. Please, everyone, first of all, again, Dr. Larson, thank you so much for being our guinea pig. But
You're welcome.
my friends, please notice there's a lot to explore and examine. Don't be afraid to dig in. Click on your dashboard, see if your picture's there, look at what all the different settings are. But indeed, in 628, we are all going to be moving together on, there's your image. See, that's the image you uploaded. We'll be moving together, creating your base. In 629, you are going to have an awful lot more freedom how you want to make it look, what your content's going to be, but this is your base, setting it up and looking at what's available, especially when we start looking at setting up different forms of assessments and different ways of sharing feedback on those assessments. All of that are things we'll be playing with in this course. I'm Dr. Larson. Thank you again. We'll be seeing you very soon.
You're very welcome.
And my esteemed colleague, Michael Hill, and myself. Thanks, everybody. And if you've got any questions, please reach out to your instructor. Thanks for your time and focus.